Our final element of the IQA qualification is the IQA self-evaluation. We have come full circle with the IQA qualification, and now is the time for self-evaluation. So it's you reflecting on your IQA practice. So what have you learnt from your IQA course, your experience? We hope you found it useful, and this is a time for you to reflect on what's gone well within your experience of monitoring your two assessors or teachers or trainers, and thinking about your future IQA role as well. So this is an opportunity for you to sit down and reflect on what's gone well. And if you might sort of struggle with this, maybe you could sit down with one of your assessors and have a chat with them and ask them, how have I done as your IQA? What have you found useful with my advice? Okay, so if you feel that you want to perhaps get some feedback from assessors, that's absolutely important to do, that's absolutely fine, but perhaps think about your own self well here. So self-evaluation is a very good way of continually reflecting on your practice and also thinking about how your help has impacted on others to improve as well. Okay. So in terms of this criteria, I would like for you to create a self-evaluation document such as a SWOT analysis, okay? And this is a very simple document, 1 to 2 pages maximum, reflecting on your strengths, your weaknesses or areas for development, opportunities to improve your IQA practice, and also threats, otherwise known as barriers to your future IQA role. So you can of course use the TrainAid SWOT analysis template, or alternatively you could create your own, okay? Or if your own organisation has its own document for self-evaluation, this is absolutely fine as well. Do have a look at pages 78 to 79, which explains more about the importance of self-evaluation. So in terms of this SWOT analysis, we would like for you to reflect on a minimum of, let's say, 1 to 2 strengths of your IQA practice, okay? So explain a minimum of 1 to 2 strengths from your IQA practice. What have you been pleased with during your IQA journey, okay? And you could, of course, think about what your colleagues have said about you, your two assessors. What have they enjoyed with to date? What help and advice and support, okay? So typical examples of your strengths could be your communication skills with assessors, knowledge of the qualification, sampling of assessors marking, perhaps your organisational skills, of course, organising team meetings, standardisation meetings, that could be of course one of your strengths, and creating new policies and procedures as well. Here are just a couple of examples of my perceived strengths as an IQA. So communication with a team of assessors or trainers, as we work with different teachers, trainers, nationwide here at TrainAid. I feel that I can communicate via email, over the phone, and also on Zoom with many of our assessors to keep them updated with the latest qualification updates. Knowledge of the qualification, so being affiliated with Highfield and receiving the latest updates is a strength. Sampling assessors marking and giving them lots of feedback, hopefully constructive feedback here, and also creating new policies and procedures, once again, is a strength of mine, I believe. So those are your strengths. Perhaps here, think about a minimum of 2 and just explain them as well. So maybe a paragraph on each, so please do tell us what you are pleased with here. Now we are on to our areas for development. Once again, think about 1 or 2 areas for development. So think back on your IQA journey. What hasn't gone to plan, okay? You're not going to be the finished article at this stage, okay? But think about what could have gone better, okay? So perhaps think about some of the challenges that you've experienced over your IQA course, okay? Perhaps it's been a challenge to keep your knowledge current. Perhaps you need to spend a bit more time reading up about your qualification. Perhaps about knowledge of company policies, that could be an area that you want to improve on. And also perhaps organisation of standardisation meetings. Perhaps this was a challenge to communicate with assessors and set some key dates there. That of course can be an area for development. Verbal feedback to assessors, could you have been clearer to your assessors? And also creating policies, could time have been a potential barrier there with creating new policies? Just going back to myself, one of the challenges that I experience, of course, is working within perhaps a busy office, and also due to the locations of our courses, it can be a challenge to, of course, tie down our assessors as everyone works different shift patterns, for example. So I need to perhaps set some key dates in the future where anyone can go attend. And also an area for development could be organisation of documents for the EV process. So making sure that our system is up to date, and I'm saving all of my hard work with storing key evidence, which is going to be useful for visits as well. Next key area is opportunities, so a bit more optimistic here. So thinking about 1 to 2 opportunities to improve your IQA practice. So think about your future aspirations as an IQA. So for example, you could meet with other IQAs in different companies, okay, to see how they do things, how do they standardize materials, for example. You could shadow an experienced IQA, okay, that could be very important there. You could attend CPD or training. You could even embark perhaps on the lead IQA qualification as well. And also you could upskill sort of new staff members as well. So think about 2 different opportunities to improve your practice. So sort of future targets here. Here are my examples to embark on the lead IQA qualification. So as we are getting more assessors and IQAs here at TrainAid, it'd be very important for me to embark on the lead IQA qualification. Another idea is the EQA qualification. That's another aspiration. And also the promotion of new courses, so new locations for our courses, making sure that they run smoothly as well. So once again, for your IQA portfolio, we're looking for a minimum of 2 opportunities to improve your practice. Finally, once again, we're thinking of threats or potential barriers to your IQA roles. This is very important that we do consider these threats, and we do hopefully avoid them within our future practice as well. So think of potential barriers that it could really derail your IQA practice. Hopefully not. This could be time to monitor assessors, shift patterns of staff, the increase in your own responsibilities, time spent training of new staff that could divert you away from your IQA, your knowledge, your responsibilities, and also changes in legislation. So these could be perceived threats. Very important we find out about them now, and you could perhaps discuss these potential threats with your managers so they're aware of these threats too, so they can help you to overcome them. So obviously one of the key threats for myself is time for IQA duties. So once again, working in quite a busy office, we need to make sure that I've got time to fulfill my IQA duties as well. After the SWOT analysis, I'm going to sign and date this form as well. So your IQA SWOT analysis or self-evaluation is a page long. It can be 2 pages, but please do make sure that you explain each point. So we're looking for a paragraph in terms of detail per point.